So, how's things?
Yes,
I want to make it
Jane.
really awkward, yo. Alfie, thank you for the 6
Had a little
months.
chat with the boys earlier this morning.
You guys talk about.
I mean, Hydra was there too. Some of Hydra members, boom, bang, bing. Just about like yesterday and everything.
What was the consensus of that conversation? Everyone
Mm,
cool?
they kind of understood the bigger picture, but one thing Hydra mentioned was mm, that I guess
Alfie with a
the
6
herd of
months.
the
The
sheep. I
goat.
mean, the sheep were kind of just blindly fighting. And if something went south, you know,
Who mentioned that?
it'd be
Hydra.
Alan mentioned that.
Yeah, I can't lie. I was disappointed about the same thing.
Yeah, and same thing I told Alan is like it wasn't necessarily supposed to be a full-fledged war. It wasn't supposed to build up to what it was. When me and Flippy talked about it, it was just beef for a couple days and boom, bang, bing. But I guess I wasn't really thinking right because how would it have been if one of you
What's
guys
the
actually
bar? Let's go,
died.
my G.
Is the meth lab isn't worth any of that. So that's a point Alan brought up.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, there's not really much more like on it. Like, I kind of just feel the same as him then, really. It's like, I get at the end of the day, the
Mm,
whole, the whole plan, like, and how everything went
mm,
was was a good move, right?
mm.
But I just didn't like the fact that we all got put on the line.
No, and that's the thing is the plan never was meant to go that far.
Mm.
And I guess that wasn't even like a thought of the plan when we were thinking of it. It wasn't supposed to go to the extent as it went. It was more supposed to be a public show. And the reason why no one else was really told is because the more loose lips from both sides would just lead to the plan inevitably never working. Not that I told this to Hydra and the boys. It's not that we didn't trust you guys. It's just sometimes things slip out and this happens, and less moving parts to it would have been, you know, it just allowed the plan to actually work. And I guess biggest thing is it wasn't supposed to explode to the extent it exploded. And
Yeah.
especially with us wanting to not buy and keep that public image of like people can't just walk all over us and this and that, and I guess just blew up. And that's one thing that when Alan mentioned it, it's something that stuck to me because looking back at it, if one of you guys did get hurt or one of you guys died, none of that shit would be worth it. But the thing
Mm.
is, I'm not perfect, Flippy's not perfect, you're not perfect. We all make mistakes. And one thing, I mean, I can't lie, if Hydra wasn't at that conversation, none of the Mandem boys would have said anything. It was mainly me talking to Hydra with the Mandem boys there. um and what they said is they just don't want to see this mistake
Is that a
happen
YouTube
twice.
comment?
They hope we kind of learn from it and move on from
Bro,
it.
that's too funny. Yeah, I guess it's just one of those, like, when it started kicking off, I guess it could have been reined in, but, you know, you was essentially acting, right? Got lost in the role.
Yeah.
It was just risky.
Yeah, it wasn't something that was taken into consideration, which was a mistake on my end. I think the biggest thing is I got too tied in and
Bro, some people are just too funny, bro.
with it all because the way Rust dealt with it was with anger and without thinking. When they ocean dumped us, when they did this, when they did that, when they went to war with us, I guess when I was thinking of it, it was more about getting the revenge back than thinking clearly, you know.
Yeah.
But when Flippy and I talked about it, it wasn't supposed to go to the extent it did.
But
You know, and
Sparky,
that's why
Sparky went
that
cliff
one day when we were
jumping
at
and
Grandma's,
could have hit a
I
rock
kind of reeled it
and
out and was
died.
like, "Let's go," you know,
Oh my god, it's
inside a
almost
little
like
bit.
I am
We'll
creating
stay on the Louu.
roleplay
We'll
because
come
I
back
don't want to
tomorrow.
be in a
And then
Discord call at the block.
That day, I called Flippy,
Wow.
and then that's why the ceasefire happened and everything kind of reeled by it. And then what's it called? Apparently, Flippy went to go pressure Russ to make a decision, and that's why it happened so quickly afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
But I will admit, you know, like looking at it from now after everything's over, it wouldn't be worth one of you boys not being here, you know.
I mean, ultimately, no one died though.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, you know, hopefully, you know, from this is a big learning point, especially with no one dying. It's a mistake that won't happen again, you know.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I do get it.
But the thing is, shit needs to happen like this, where, you know, you guys tell me when I'm wrong. Because, like, without Alan saying shit, or
But you know how
feeling
it
a certain
is,
way,
though. Everyone shares the same brain for the most part. And that's not a diss. It's just unlikely that, you know, not a lot of people have an opinion, which is calm, you know. Not everyone needs to be an opinion.
not a
Some
lot of
people are
people
just
want to go
soldiers.
against the grain.
Yeah, yeah. Ain't. And it's not even going against the grain for the sake of going against the grain. It's just like stay into your morals.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. But no, to be honest, after Alan mentioned something, even yesterday when I was with when you sent that text, you know,
Yeah.
I was with Denzel and I was chatting about it, and he's like, I do get like people being upset about the thing, but looking at it, you know, I see your plan, I saw your plan, I see that you did it for the greater good, and you know, I'm okay with those terms.
Yeah, I mean, it was for a good reason. I think it just, you know, I just needed... I don't think I'll ever fully be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But
Mm.
it happened, then I can get over it, you know?
Yeah, I wish I could have told all of you guys, but it just for the plan to go the way it did, and thankfully it went the way it did, because you know I wouldn't want to be carrying one of you guys in a body bag or anything. It you know we got lucky this time that it was executed properly.
For
That's
sure,
the
for
thing
sure, for
is
sure. It could have gone
the
wrong,
way I look
and I'm
at it.
just glad it
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah. The way I look at it now is, you know, that's something I'll always carry with me with any decision I make. And that's why usually whenever we make decisions, I like involving everyone. You know?
I can see why this one didn't have everyone involved, though.
Mm. Why is that?
No, like, I can understand why you had to keep it as close to your chest as you did. Because it wouldn't have
Yeah.
worked the same way, you know?
Yeah. And like, yeah. I think like even I don't think anyone from Hydra was told other than Flippy. Like he's the only one
And
that knew.
they were pissed as well, right? Or not? Or only a few of them?
I don't think they're pissed at Alan had the same stand you had. And the other Hydra boys were like, you know, I understand it, and you know, I hope this is like a learning curve for you guys, and I don't want to see the same mistake happen twice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was mainly Alan that was like, you know, this is what upset me, and I think he had a chat with Flippy, and it didn't really go as well. But one thing I told Alan is, hearing it is also tough, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I just wish he was less of a herd.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
But what
No,
can
I
you
feel
do?
that. Yeah.
But that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to hear your perspective and like your reasonings. But it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do get it.
Yeah. I
It's a
mean,
peak situation, but it's a peak situation we survived.
yeah. Looking back at it, looking at it as plain as I could right now, I probably wouldn't do it. Or if I did it, there'd be different precautions I take. But that would involve having everyone in, you know, knowledge with the situation. So it is a you know, steep learning curve. Something, you know, I'll have to carry around with me, and it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life. Because, you know, one stupid mistake, and I could have lost any of you guys for the lab. You know, and no lab, no amount of money is worth you guys.
Very true. I get it. I don't hold you. Like I don't hold you for it.
Mm. And I appreciate that, but you know, I always wanted to be like this, where if shit is south, or shit is a little bit, you know, it's not sweet. I wanna be told about it, because unless someone tells me, like if you didn't tell me and Alan was the only one that told me, none of the Mandem boys would have told me. You know, like even the conversation today I had with everyone, and it was mainly with Hydra.
Yeah, there's a lot of soldiers though, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is Alan said, you know, if this were to happen again, I would do it again, but you know, it's just having that purpose.
You need soldiers, but you just need soldiers that think independently as well.
Yeah, but you know how it is.